So you're thinking about relocating to Ventura and buying a home here, but before you make that huge decision, you're probably wondering, what's it really like here? What are the neighborhoods like, the lifestyle? What are the things you might love, but also, just as importantly, what are the things you might not like? If that's the case, you're gonna love this video. I'm gonna take you on the same tour that we take our clients, the nooks and crannies, the pros, and definitely the cons. Let's get started. First up, Ventura Harbor. What an advantage for a small city like this to have an absolutely fabulous harbor. And you also have fun shops, restaurants, biking trails around this area, and views all the way up the coastline. A parade of boat lights here during the holidays, as well as festivities over Halloween, where you actually have a whole troop of witches paddleboarding up and down the harbor. And if you get hungry while you're over at the harbor, you may want to stop by the Ventura Harbor Cafe, which has a pretty unrivaled view of the harbor and a beautiful grassy area. On the beach side of Ventura Harbor, you have miles of gorgeous beaches, volleyball, and then also a fantastic swim beach where the water is pretty cold, but you gotta love that cold therapy, right? There's actually an outrigger canoe club that meets here. They keep their boats over here. So that's something you can look to join if you want to get out on the ocean in an adventurous way. I'm at the main channel of the Ventura Harbor. This is one of my favorite spots because you can come over here and watch the amazing boats going in and out of the channel, and also look all the way down the coastline to downtown Ventura, to where the mountains are and the boardwalk and the pier. There's no real cons to the Ventura Harbor, right? It's pretty amazing. The only downside you might experience is during the main vacation times of year and the weekends. It does get really busy here. Second stop, we're in the Pierpont neighborhood, which borders the Channel Islands Harbor on one side, and then also is right next door to miles of beaches that go all the way up to San Buenaventura State Park, all the way to the downtown and the pier. Oh, and I should probably mention Marina Park here, which is one of the top parks in Ventura. You can walk down to a boat dock here, get on your paddleboard and paddle out into the harbor. The beaches are just on the other side of the park, and there's free parking here on weekdays. What a wonderful mix of living you really have here. Newer two-story homes that have hillside views and ocean views. You also have simpler ranch homes here from the 50s and 60s, canal homes where you can literally walk out your house, down to your dock, get in your boat, and go out through the canal into the ocean, into the Channel Island. And then there's also Seaward Avenue, which has fun little local shops and restaurants. Be sure to stop by Pierpont Tacos on Tuesday. They have 2-for-1 fish tacos as well. One of the things that sets apart the Pierpont neighborhood is geography, like its own little island, especially as you get into the Ventura Keys neighborhood too, which is right here. It's really tucked away. Those homes were built in the 60s and were originally for sale for around $35,000. What a bargain. Over by Seaward Avenue, at the end of the street there, that was a location where there was some flooding from king waves in past years. That, and this is a touristy area, so during the touristy times, it's going to get a lot busier. So you may or may not like that, depending on what you think about tourists. We recently just had a client tell us, Bart, your videos are so great, but when we got here and toured around with you, we realized it's even way better. And so that's what I'd recommend for you. If you're interested, give Keziah and myself a call and we'll take you around and we'll really get into this in the nitty gritty. Stop number 3, it's not necessarily a huge residential area, but it is iconic, Surfers Point. You can't really figure out Ventura without coming down here and seeing how magical this place is, because chances are you'd want to be coming down here to walk along the beautiful boardwalk, check out the surfing action, kiteboarders. It's a great trail. This is a biking trail as well that will go 11 miles all the way to Rincon State Beach Park. There's also free parking down here. There's a free parking lot, which you can find spots in during the non-busier times. There's the iconic historic pier. There's eateries. There's a brewery. There's so much. So this is definitely worth a visit. There's not a whole ton of residential living here. There's some condominiums. However, you're a short walk from here. You can just go over on Figueroa Street all the way to downtown to the pedestrian mall, and you have a lot more residential areas there, as well as the Another famous spot, the outdoor pedestrian mall. Tons of local shops and restaurants there. Also, when you're over here, you can walk over to the Ventura River. It's a bird sanctuary. It feels very wild. The only possible downside to the Surfers Point area is it will get super busy during more touristy times. And it's definitely going to be really tough to park down here. There's concerts and festivals here. There's the Ventura County Fairgrounds. So there's tons of people coming down into this area for a good reason. It's so much fun. One of the things about Surfers Point, it's a rocky beach, and you would find better beaches even down in Oxnard, where they have about 11 miles of wide, long beaches. It really is a selling point for Ventura when you're over at Surfers Point. It's a beautiful walk on Figueroa Street if you're okay with walking under the 101 temporarily. And you just walk right over to the old Spanish Mission and to Main Street and the rest of the downtown with all it has to offer, with fun, locally owned restaurants and shops, hangouts, bars. If you want your own space and to be a little removed from people, chances are you probably wouldn't like living in the downtown. There's an eclectic mix of housing in the downtown as well. You have condos, you have historic homes, Spanish-style homes. When you live in the downtown, the closer you are to where the Ventura River feeds into the ocean, that's a potential place for flooding when you have lots of winter rains. Right now, I'm standing by the Mission in the downtown and the pedestrian mall, and this is the site as well where you have an amazing farmers market on Saturdays, and this street is closed off as well to traffic for several blocks. So people really enjoy coming here and walking and people watching and eating and drinking and having fun. It is a great place. Interesting little side note, a real hot button issue here in Ventura is the pedestrian mall, which they're currently in the process of trying to make permanent. And it feels like the vast majority of people really love the pedestrian mall and the fact that it's cut off to cars, but there's also vocal opponents of it as well. So many upsides really to living in the downtown. There's beautiful parks, there's the outdoor pedestrian mall with all of those fun hangouts. You can walk right over to the ocean in Surfers Point. There's biking trails that you can access where you can bike up into Ojai and along the coast all the way to Rincon State Park. There are festivals, bands, and just so many fun events going on. And then of course the downside is this is a real tourist draw. It gets really busy. There's a lot more traffic, and because you're right off the 101 and the 33, you're pretty much going to hear constantly traffic noise in the background. That, and you're going to have flooding during the heavy rainy times down over by the Ventura River side of the downtown. Another thing that people are concerned about is there's a lot of new construction, in particular condos and developments going on that's going to further increase the congestion for an area where generally the lot sizes are smaller anyway. The next stop we're going to is the Serra Cross. You can drive from the downtown up to the top of the hillside and just have this unrivaled view, which the GoPro is not going to do justice. You can see over to the Channel Islands, and no one's living up here, but this is a really good vantage point to get an idea of the different neighborhoods because you can see so many of them. You can see the west side from the Serra Cross, you can see into the downtown, into Midtown, and all the way over to Pierpont. Just wanted to mention as well, another strong point for Ventura is, as of now, there's still ample free parking lots and free parking in Ventura that's scattered around the city. And of course, when I bring people up to the Serra Cross, we also stop at the Botanic Gardens, and there's just an incredible variety of plants. And on Fridays, you're allowed to bring your dog. Ventura is a very dog-friendly city. When you're up at the Serra Cross and the Botanic Gardens, yes, you will notice there is a massive amount of hillsides. There's great hiking in Ventura, and that's a huge pro. Which does bring up, though, that there are some cons to this as well and concerns that people have. And the big one is fire danger, because basically one border of Ventura goes into a massive amount of open space. So even the homes, let's say, and there are hillside homes that range all the way from downtown Ventura and go out east quite a ways. And if you are interested in those hillside neighborhoods, by the way, check out the video we did in depth on the neighborhoods of the hillside. In recent times, the fire concern is getting bigger and bigger. Insurance costs have been going up. One good thing to know, however, is the Ventura Fire Department is very active about inspecting homeowners' lots, in particular in the hillside areas, to make sure that they've been maintained and abated to keep the brush down so that there's less of a fire hazard. Next stop, Midtown, the heart of Ventura. You really cannot talk about Ventura without discussing this neighborhood. Back during COVID, Patagonia actually had a lot of its employees moving to this neighborhood, and the prices were steadily going up. You're close to the beach. On the north side, you're close to the foothills and hiking. You're right next door to downtown with all the fun shops, restaurants, and hangouts. And then on the other side, the east side, you're right over by Trader Joe's and Sprouts, Best Buy, and, you know, more big box type shopping. It's really like its own little city within the city. On the two main streets, Main and Thompson, there are cafes here, bakeries. Cafe Nouveau is right behind me. The Ventura Music Hall is here. So that's all the pros, right? But what about the cons? What's the catch? And the catch is this is a busier, more urban area. And so sometimes we'll drive clients through this area and they don't like it. They feel like the two main streets look a little bit run down. Also, the lots are going to be smaller. The parking can get really tight. And on a lot of the lots, people are building ADUs so they can have rental income for the property or have more people living on the lot. So it's getting more and more people in the same area. So also, you're going to have some more noise here. In general, you're closer to Highway 101, so you're going to hear that noise. You're going to hear the train coming by. There's three main sections to Midtown. There's Old Midtown, Loma Vista, and Lemon Grove, and they all have a little bit different feel to it. You're going to have a range from 1920s Spanish-style bungalows with the clay tile roofs, and then mid-century modern. And you're also going to have some two-story homes that have ocean views and hillside views. There's so many fantastic locally owned businesses in Midtown, including the Butter and Fold Bakery behind me. And keep in mind, when you're in Midtown, you're also close to two high schools, two hospitals, and you have easy access to Highway 101. So you can get up to Santa Barbara, you can get to Los Angeles, and it's fantastic for commuting. The last stop on our Heart of Ventura tour is the College neighborhood, which is pretty much a picture-perfect neighborhood. We had a client who recently purchased here right across from Arroyo Verde Park, and from their second story, they could see the ocean, so they were pretty excited about that. And still, you're not that far from the shops down in Midtown. You're only about 10 minutes to downtown from here. You can still get to the beach pretty quickly. A big advantage of the College neighborhood is, of course, you're right next to the college, one of the top 20 community colleges in California. So you're gonna have all these activities going on here, continuing education and the Performing Arts Center. Your home park will be Arroyo Verde Park, which is really one of the best parks in Ventura. There's amazing hiking trails here, playgrounds, huge grassy space park, beautiful trees, grassy area, and people run their dogs off leash here as well. So it's very popular with dog owners. Right now, because we had a lot of rain this past winter, it's like a wildflower jungle when you go hiking. It's hard to say a lot of cons to this neighborhood. One thing is, though, it is very expensive, and homes that come on the market here oftentimes will be non-updated, and they'll still be in the $1 million range. And in some of those non-updated homes, they're gonna need new electrical, new plumbing, a new roof, things like that will come up. And then Lower College, which is on the south side of Telegraph Road, is gonna have smaller homes, more ranch-style homes, mid-century modern. Still a very beautiful neighborhood with beautiful front yards, and people are really friendly there. And also, you're gonna have more Eichler homes, which are a very sought-after mid-century home that is very popular, and you're going to pay roughly $100,000 more for that home as compared to other homes of a similar age. A con to Lower College is you are going to be closer to the Highway 126, so you're going to hear some noise from that, and you're a little bit closer to the hustle and bustle of Midtown, so that may be a pro or a con depending on who you are. Camino Real will be your park. It's roughly a 40-acre park. You've got basketball, softball, tennis, volleyball, everything's going on here. There's also a fenced-in dog park. And one thing you'll notice is it is right next to the Highway 126 as well. There's some fantastic old growth forest here. It gives it kind of a magical feel here. By the way, shout out to our friend Ray with the Ventura Parks Department. They do such a wonderful job maintaining the parks in Ventura, which really are incredible parks. Other than the highway noise that you'll hear in the distance in Lower College, overall this area is just super quiet. There's well-sized lots, and it just has a really nice peaceful feel here. And you still have the benefit of being close to all that amazing shopping, places to go out, eat, and hang out, and have a fun time. Hopefully after this Ventura tour, you feel you have a much better idea of what's going on here. Keep in mind a couple things. Number one, as good as this place looks on video, it is even better in person. Keziah and I are real estate agents. We specialize in Ventura County real estate. We're 7 days a week helping people buy and sell real estate. And if you have questions that you need answered fast, give us a call. Let's connect.